네. 이해돼요. Hi. Good morning. I haven't drank anything yet. Yeah. Un momento kudasai. Yeah. I actually do have tea. I have tea. Is the what's it called? Throat coat. I have biscuits. Yes. Here, listen to the crunch. Did you hear the crunch? Yeah. I've got tea and biscuits and fruits. Learn Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien. Me llamo Mie. Me gusta pantalones. I know a little bit. I learned Spanish for 3 years. Back in Hong Kong, I learned it for 2 years anyway. Also, I did just wake up, and the reason why I decided to stream just when I woke up is because most of you know the natural accent comes out when I'm very sleepy. So I thought it'd be easier if I just woke up and did the stream right away. So I woke up and ran to my PC and just turned on the stream and then clicked start. And then I went to like brush my teeth and got food right within the 15 minutes that I was starting up. I didn't want to do it without I didn't want to force it too bad. So yeah. And as a last resort, I'll call in like a British friend or something and they'll probably help me. Mm-hmm. Hi. I didn't say hi to everybody. Oopsie. I'm a little scatterbrained. No, I actually say most of my T's. I'm not that kind of British. I don't know why that's the case though. It would be double British suffering. British. Can you ooh-woo in a British accent? Is it possible? British. It'd be really weird to do that, wouldn't it? No, I don't want to try it. Jalapenos. Jalapenos are like too much for me. So I'm gonna just like write out a sentence. If you write out the sentence, then I could probably do it, but I wouldn't do it without the sentence. I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement, Maki. I just remembered I didn't make the announcement for the stream on Discord. Oopsies. Let me do that very quickly. I forgot. I'm so scatterbrained. You ever feel that? Scatterbrainedness that you be today. Oops. Okay. Ugh. What did you guys do today? I clearly didn't really do much. Oh my god, my voice. So last night, I went to bed pretty early at like 1. I was in bed by 1. And I think I like drawing and stuff just before bed. I finished all my dailies. I haven't been able to play Genshin, as most of you know. I haven't played Genshin in a while, which is very sad. I haven't talked about it because like I didn't want to get. I didn't want to feel a sense of deprivation. But thankfully, I have an IRL friend who is playing on my Genshin account for me. So I'm not missing out on like any of the drops or like rewards for the summer event, which is nice. Yeah. I'm really, really glad that my friend, she's willing to do it for me. I don't think the detox is working. Because I'm seeing a lot of Genshin on my like For You page on Twitter. I see it a lot. Probably more than you think. And it's like all the new characters, I see a lot of fan art of the new characters. I'm actually thinking of doing some fan art of myself too. I haven't drawn Sejuin yet. I really, really want to draw her. She's so cute. And I like her design. It's just like, you know, all Genshin characters are so detailed. You ever feel that, you know? Like they're just very, very detailed. So I am a little bit scared of drawing them. I am in my artist, you know, lane right now. I feel like a lot of my streams for the next couple of months are going to be very like art focused. Yeah. I have a lot of art to do. So next week I'm opening up my commissions again. And before I even fully fully opened my commissions, they were all taken. The slots were all taken. Like I wanted to open them a little bit early, and if no one like wanted them, I would just officially open them next week. And turns out people actually did want my emotes. So, I have full slots for the next month. Or not next month, maybe like next half month or so. Because I'm not starting them like at the beginning of the week. I last did my commissions back in June. July was full of like birthday and like, donathon stuff, so I've been a little bit busy on those. Um, so yeah, I realized after like in July that I could not open my commissions. So I'm sorry for people who've been waiting for over a month just to have the bouncy emotes made. Um, but it will be next week that I start them. So now it's August. It's been a month since, which I'm so sorry for. But I probably will start doing some of them early anyway. Because I think like my main issue is I didn't want to start doing commissions until after I've started my own donathon goal art stuff, which is the NSFW thing, because that was like the $1,000 goal, right? I wanted to do that first before I did anything else, before I started the comms. Because I know it's going to take a while. I just needed like a starting point, and no one has really given me an idea, like a solid idea. So I was thinking that on Friday, which is tomorrow, right? I think it's tomorrow. Or is it Friday? No, tomorrow. That we do the art stream. We could like come up with stuff together. Mm-mm. I do know that with the I think with the Kopi and Domino members, we did talk about it a little bit. Talked about it a little bit. I have like a general idea, but at the same time, it's not gonna be solid until I actually have a sketch down. So I want to like get everybody's official opinions on stream. I think it would be a little more, you know, concise. It'd be easier to ask people on stream like, "Hey, does this look good or does that look good?" You know, instead of a whole text message of stuff. Yeah, I might have to raise the price for my commissions, but I don't want to. Because I'm understanding that it's like a few people who just want multiple emotes instead of like a lot of people who just want one emote. So I'm like, should I not? But I have an idea for a different kind of emote as well. I have 2 emotes that I'd like to make. There's the running one. I'm sure you guys have seen that one in Discord, the animated running emote. I really like that one. I think it's really cute. I got a couple of friends saying that they want one. And the butt emotes. Yeah. I've gotten a lot of friends who want cake similar to the Tenchi cake butt emote. Yeah. A lot of my friends have seen the emote and they also would like a butt emote. So I might have to work on that a little bit. So I have ideas for future emotes. Some that are, well, the butt one is obviously a static one, and then there's like the 2 animated ones that I have to work out. So it do be a nice piece of cake. Is it slice of cake? Natural template. Just the ideal booty. Yeah. Mm. I might have to price the running one much higher though. Like, because the running one has a lot of frames. So I think I have to price that one a little higher. Probably like 50? Mm. You think that's a bakery? That's only 2 cakes though. Yeah, I was thinking 50 or 60. Because the one that is the current one, the current bouncy emote, that one's 4 frames. The other one that I'm thinking of, I think has 6 or 7, almost 8 maybe? No, probably 6-ish? 6-ish frames. Yeah. So I need to work that out a little bit better. It's like 2, 3 extra frames. I'm not quite sure. Mm-mm. But that's the plan for my art journey. And I'm actually pretty excited for like the what's it called? The NSFW art, because it's like then I get to really explore anatomy a little better. I can do it like normally, but I'm not the best at it. I think I'd have to learn a little bit better because like I can use clothing to cover up most of my terrible anatomy, but when it comes to NSFW art, that's like mostly skin, right? So I gotta think about it. More ideas. Aw, Peter! It does, which is why like I really wanna like get good at it. There is something about. I mean, I'm not a British VTuber. Wow, that's the most American way I've said that. I'm no Brit, but maybe some of you don't know this, but my mother is. My mother holds a British passport. She was born and raised in a Birmingham, I think. She was a British. She a British. Yeah. Mhm. Yep. You guys don't know the Mino mom story? Mhm. She's a citizen of 3 different places. Yep, actually British. She said that her favorite accent ever is the mother in the movie that Dwayne Johnson was like a huge Scorpion King. I forgot the name of that movie. Is it The Mummy? I forgot the name of that actress too. But she really liked her accent. It's The Mummy, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. She said that her accent was very elegant. So my mom always wanted that accent. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm sorry if I'm like not talking for a bit. I have to eat. Yeah, so that was her favorite accent. And mom was born and raised in Britain, Birmingham. And then well, both my grandparents are actually from Hong Kong, right? And then they both moved to Birmingham, somewhere I think in Britain, just so that they could go to school there. My grandpa was going through like university in the UK somewhere. And then my uncle and my mom were both born in Birmingham, I believe. And then when they got a little bit older, I think my mom moved back to Hong Kong with her family, and like when she was probably like 4 or 5 years old, still a baby, you know. She was still small. And then she went to university or like late secondary school years. I think she did that back in England again. And then she moved to Canada. Yeah. Canada for either her last year of secondary school or her first years of university. I could be wrong, but I think that's what the timeline was. So she has citizenship in 3 different countries. Yeah. I wouldn't say countries. 3 different places? Just 3 different places. Mm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This is refreshing fruit. So, my mom does have like a weird mix of an accent. So do I. But the way she does it is like a bit of Chinese, a bit of British, and a bit of like Canadian. Yeah. She has a bit of three. Bit of three. And you know what? I think it's pretty cool. There is one thing that sets me apart from like most British accents, I think. And it's the fact that I don't pronounce the TH as an F. I realized a lot of my friends who are from the UK pronounce their THs as Fs. Like think ends up becoming think. And just, or like thought becomes foot. And I actually think it's really cute. Like I've heard Pandora, one of my good friends Pandora. We've been in a few voice calls recently, and I've heard her say like the words like thought, think, those, and it's so cute when she says it with an F. They do. Mm-hmm. It's cute though. I just seem to have a very, or at least naturally, if I were to just completely disregard how good the accent or bad the accent is, I have like a weird international student accent. It's the same one that Rio has, where it's like not quite that. You can tell that it's not completely British. But it's not impossible for me to do. I grew up listening to this accent, so it's not impossible. It's just a little weird. Mm. Is it though? The British transfer accent? Yes. It's because like okay, so you know how Hong Kong was like it used to be a British colony? You ever remember that? Just history things. During that time, obviously the accent might have devolved, evolved, or changed in some way or form because most people there obviously weren't speaking English, they were speaking Cantonese, right? So during that time that Hong Kong was a British colony, obviously the accent is going to change a little bit. So the people that I was around, the schools that I went to, all of them were like a mix of different countries as well. Like my teachers were from places like New Zealand, Australia, some were from the UK, some were from Spain, and they were all different accents. I had an Irish teacher at one point, I remember. But they were all different, right? And when you have multiple teachers that pronounce things all differently, you're definitely going to learn that. And you're going to pronounce things differently. Yeah, I did. I did. And it was, I mean, as a kid growing up, it's actually very hard to differentiate because you don't know these things. Like, you don't know, oh, that's a whatever accent, that's a blah, blah, blah accent. Even adults don't know how to differentiate them sometimes. I have friends who cannot differentiate between a Scottish and an Irish accent. Like, it's just so mixed up and it's hard to tell. Some people don't really know the difference between Australian and a British accent still. And to me, as a kid growing up, I had no idea. So I had a mix of a lot of different accents. Some like a little bit of New Zealand, Australian sounding accent, and a little bit of the British, and it would change every year because each teacher would teach differently. They would do like dictations with spelling bees and stuff, kind of. And I remember my year 6 teacher. He was from New Zealand, and I remember he was actually really hot. He played rugby. And he was saying the word pneumonia, but he pronounced the P at the beginning. He was like pneumonia, and I was like, "Are you doing this on purpose, or are you just trying to tell us there's a P at the beginning of the word?" Yeah, and I don't really. Okay, I remember this. I was what 10 at the time, and I did the spelling test, and it was the one where he used the pneumonia. I really had no idea if he was just doing it on purpose or if he was like genuinely saying it. But that's how he did it for the test. So I assumed, it had to be the most accurate thing. And so I did the test once. And then I had to do it again. And I got everything right because I knew from the previous test exactly what the words were and what I got wrong. So I did the test again because, I don't know, my test got lost or something. I had to redo it. And so I ended up getting everything correct. And he was like, good job. But at the same time, like, I remember him pronouncing certain words really differently. Like, the pneumonia would definitely be one of them. Hey, but we're not talking about Greek. We're talking about my teacher from New Zealand, who normally does not pronounce things like that, I think. Yeah, it was just... it was difficult to keep up with as a kid. And that is why I know that, like, when I pronounce things sometimes, it sounds a little strange. And that's why I also sometimes pronounce my T's and sometimes I don't. For the most part, I do. They are really interesting. I grew up with it. I would know. Okay, I can eat my cookies now. Don't fall. Okay. There's a difference between cookies and biscuits, though. And I think you're thinking too stereotypically of a British accent. Ugh. Yeah, good. My accent, naturally, is not gonna be like insanely strong, because normally it's not like that anyway. And to be fully honest, with all the British friends that I have, none of them have an accent that's incredibly strong either. Like my friends who do live in like for example, Elia, she actually has like a soft accent. It's still kind of American-ish. And like Pandora, sometimes I don't even notice that she has an accent because I listen to her so frequently. And they don't have like a certain inflection to their voice that makes it very British. It's just like normal talking. Can pop, yeah. My mom bought this recently. It's like this grape juice thing with jelly inside it. No, I was like doing it below the mic. See, that's to you guys, but not to me. Well, I don't deny it. I don't think my accent's very strong. I was told that it wasn't very strong anyway growing up. And because it's such a mix of different accents and I've Canadianized myself for so long, I just can't really...
wasting their monies on me.
That scared me. Thank you for the soup. God, what was I saying? Hold on. Let me think about it. Oh yeah, so I was talking to Pandora and I was talking to... Actually, I talked to Elia recently. I talked to Rocco. Don't know if you guys know Rocco. And I talked to... I talked to Vance recently. You're all in this call together. And I like... I mean, even though they were all speaking in this accent, I couldn't really like... What's the word? I couldn't pinpoint how strong it was or not because I'm so used to hearing it. And like even on a regular basis, I will still see things like, oh my god. Okay, so an example would be like Bridgerton. I'm sure you guys have seen like the Netflix thing, right? The Netflix show Bridgerton. It's basically all these fancy British accents together. And when I was in Hong Kong, that is basically how I spoke. It was very formal. It sounded like I was from the 1800s, and people would still use the same mannerisms, but like the way of talking was very similar. And I remember like, oh god, wait, I told you the stories, right? Have I told you the British accent stories? Did I ever tell you the British accent stories? Probably not. I don't think I've ever told you about it. Well, no, you probably heard of one. I can imagine if you heard hearing of one. You heard one. So when I was a wee lad, God, I can't say words like that. So when I was younger, like I think I was maybe like 10, 12, 10, 10, 11 years old. I was in secondary school. You start secondary school when you're quite young. If you don't know the British school system, it's basically elementary and then secondary and then university. So you go from year 1 to 6. That's elementary school. I was probably like 4 to 10 years old within those 6 years. And then from year 7 to 13 is like the last few years. Like I was 11 to probably like 17-ish. Yeah. That's how it works. I don't know why that's the case. We don't have a middle school. Like it doesn't go like not even, it's not elementary actually. You call it primary school. But I realized in Canada it goes elementary school and then middle school and then high school. But when I lived in Hong Kong, it was just primary, secondary school and then university after that. If you decide to go. So, yeah, the school system was just very different. So in Hong Kong, I was what? Maybe 10, 11 years old. I would assume that was like my first year, like in secondary school, so year 7. And there was one morning, I was late. Both me and my sister were very late to class. So we had to take a taxi to school instead of the bus because we missed it and both our parents wouldn't drive us to school that day because they already were off to work. So we went into our classrooms. Everyone's already doing work, or like the teacher's already talking about stuff. And he made me stand at the door. Like, I opened the door and I stood there. And he was like, "You know what you have to say?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I had to say, "I apologize for my tardiness. I promise I will not do it again. And I apologize for interrupting the class. Please continue." Stuff like that. It was really, really bad. Like, the things that we were forced to do was incredibly strict. And it felt bad. You were basically humiliated in front of your entire class if you were late. And I hated it, to be honest. It was terrible schooling. At least that kind of thing is very bad. Yes, Hong Kong does it. So basically, any form is like, so year 7 and year 8 would be form 1, form 2, and then you just keep counting up like that. Yeah. So I lived in Hong Kong up until form 2, and then I left. Yeah. It was just way too much, It was just way too much. It didn't have to be that strict, And I feel like my teachers just had a thing out for me. Like, they just did not like me. At least that's what it felt like. So they, it just forced me to stand at the door and say things like that. And you know how terrible this traumatized me? Is when I got to Canada, right? Like in the end of form 2, I left for Canada. And within like the first 2 weeks of me starting middle school here, I was 12 years old. And I was actually in a split class. I cannot believe that's even a thing, to be honest. Like, to have a mixed class of like grade 8 and 7 in one classroom, that one teacher has to teach both. Like, to me, that's crazy. So anyway, there were like 8 people who were my age in that classroom, and then the rest were like grade 7. And I was like, oh my god, you babies. And so during that time, one time I was late, and I ended up going into the classroom and being like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm late." And I basically said the exact same thing. And my teacher was just like, "Oh no, just feel free to take a seat." And I was like, "What?" And then all of my friends were like, "Did you do that for?" You made such a big deal out of it. Just come in next time. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, I didn't know at the time. I just didn't know. And then there was one time, oh god. Okay, so it was the first day of school. Like, first day of grade 8 for me. First day of ever attending a school that was in Canada, ever. Well, the first day we were assigned to our classrooms, and we all just had to go to the gym, and no one called my name, and it's because they said my name is Rachel, and I was like, that ain't it. I was like, that ain't it. And then I was like, so I went up and I was like, am me. Yeah, they just like completely. Okay, so legally my name is not that. I'm like, that is not my name. And it wasn't even remotely close. Like, they just completely butchered it. Yeah, I was like, what even is this? They couldn't even say it. Yeah, I know. It was so bad. It was real bad. Like, legally, that ain't my name. I was like, ugh. I was upset, and I didn't know where to go because they said my name wrong. So, there I go, like, off to see my teacher, and was like, "Hey, can you guide me to my classroom wherever this is?" And me. And then my teacher had to walk me to my classroom after everybody had already left because their names were actually called out properly. And then I remember going into the classroom, and then my teacher brought me up to the front and was like, "Oh yeah, you're the new kid." And I was like, "Yes, that's me." So I introduced myself. I was like, "I'm Mino Mieko. I come from the Hong Kong." And then we also had a French class on the first day, and I was like, "Oh fuck." Thankfully, my teacher actually spoke Spanish too. So he was like, "Can you conjugate words in Spanish?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can do that. Easy." So she's like, "Okay, do it in Spanish first, and I'll try and teach you what it is in French afterwards, because I think that'd be easier for you to understand." And I was like, "Okay, I could do that." So I ended up doing Spanish in a French classroom, which was really strange for other people, but they also understood, which was really nice. And I made a friend. Now that was just the first day, right? And then I went home, easy. Second day of school, I see everybody like in the playground waiting for class to start, or like for them to like line up and then enter the school building. And I thought that was really weird. I was like, maybe people just like being outside. So I went inside the building, and I went to my locker and I put down my stuff. And my teacher, he saw me and he was like, "What are you doing in here?" And I was like, "Putting down my things like a normal student does." I was wondering why it was so empty. Like the hallways would like echoey, and there was just no one in there. And then there's me, who's at my locker, and he was like, "You're not allowed in here until the school bell rings." And I was like, "What?" Imagine going to school in the morning and not being allowed inside the school. You know how weird that is? Like, that was so stupid. It's so stupid. Yeah. So like, so the way they wanted us to enter the school is like, the school bell rings, everybody lines up in like their class order, and then they would file us in single file into the school building so that there's like less traffic. I'm just like, what in the fuck? So yeah, I was like, why is this wrong? You know? And he was like, just go back into the playground and wait until the school bell rings. And I was like, okay. So I left, and all of my friends who saw me was like, "Where's your backpack? Like, where's your stuff? Did you bring it today?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I did. It just happens. It's in my locker. You know." I tried to like play it off, but I don't think that worked very well. So at least after that, I knew that I wasn't allowed in the school building right away. I just thought that was like a really different way of doing things, I suppose. Like in Hong Kong, you really would just walk in the building. There's no place for you to like sit and wait for them to open the school doors. Like it's all open at 6 a.m. anyway. Like, yeah, like everyone. Oh no. So the other thing, I'm sure I've told you guys about this, where I got in trouble once. I think I just handed in homework late, and my teacher, she was like, "Look me in the eye when I'm talking to you." I'm sure I've mentioned this one multiple times. That is because it still scars me to this very day. It's I'll never forget that moment when she said that, because it was such an eye-opening moment of like how different people are here. Because when I went to like even just on a regular basis, like I went out with my family and we went to go for like Tim Hortons or something. I would go up to the counter and I'd order my food without looking at the person in the eye. And you know, some people don't, some people do, but it was just like they were so friendly about it, and they were like, "You could look me in the eye, you know, it's not scary." And my mom said the same thing. She was, because in Hong Kong, she never said anything about looking people in the eye or not. If anything, looking down at the ground was the right thing to do instead of looking someone in the eye. And my mom never really corrected that. So in Canada, my mom did mention like you can look people in the eye when they're talking to you. That's probably that's being polite. But she never mentioned that when we lived in Hong Kong. So I was like, what in the fuck? There's no consistency. It's because of the culture difference. You know, like I understand that it's the culture difference, but it is so different from what I'm used to that I just couldn't. I didn't feel comfortable doing it for a very long time. I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but when I was off Kai, I actually didn't look a lot of people in the eye. Or if I did, I would like scan over it. I would scan over your eyes. I wouldn't ever look at you directly and talk to you directly. If anything, I was actually looking in between your eyes, not at your actual eyes. And I would look like maybe at your nose or somewhere in the vicinity of your eyes, but not actually into your eyes. And it's because I'm still not over it. Eye contact is bad in Hong Kong. In some cases, yes. It is really awkward. I mean, obviously, when someone's talking to you, you want to show that you're paying attention, right? So, like, you would turn your body to face them. You might look them in the eye. But, like, you don't just stare into their eyes. It's a little strange if you did do that. Yeah. See, Marky, that's what makes people kind of uncomfortable, though. Or at least for me, it does. Because I'm not used to it. I'm really not. Also, I'm numbing, so give me a minute. Mm. No. I don't know how people get good at it. Just like looking at people in the eye. I can't do it. Same with like, okay. Oh. Have you guys ever heard of like accent matching or mirroring? Have you guys ever heard of that? It's like when you're around a certain accent for a long enough time, you end up picking it up as well. And you sound like you end up saying words that you're like, I don't normally say it like this, but you do it anyway. Yeah, we did talk about it, didn't we? You accent match sometimes? But you do too, Tom. Wait, have you? Haven't heard it. I did, but I didn't even. Oh. Mm, ah. Okay. So when I was younger, obviously I did a lot of it. I would accent match all the time. So I remember having an Australian teacher for music, and I would have an Australian accent only in that classroom. Otherwise, it would be like a mixture of like I would say actually more of like an American accent, like American and British. It would be a little bit of both because I just would watch a lot of like American TV shows. I would watch a lot of Disney Channel. Yeah, I watched a lot of Disney Channel. I watched a lot of like Fairy Odd Parents. I watched. What else did I watch? Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and I watched a lot of Nickelodeon. Um, like Wizards of Waverly Place, Hannah Montana. I would watch shows like that, and that's where I understood or could mimic the more American accents and not so much difficulty. But because in school I was taught to speak in more of a British accent, I ended up having a mix of both. I did have a solid show choice growing up. And Wings Club. I did watch Wings Club. That was like the one animated one that I really, really liked. You like the Aussie accent? Oh god. I had a lot of teachers from Australia. It was actually very interesting to see or like hear on a regular basis because it ends up becoming so normal. Yeah, accent match because you gotta take anyone's accent. Ah, no. I can. It's not that difficult. Like Scottish accents, Irish accents, I can mimic those if I hear it often enough. I just choose not to. Peppa Pig, of all things. See, I grew up with Peppa Pig, but in books, not in a show. Or like Maisie. Pretty sure Maisie was one of them too. The thing is, right? Like my grandparents both have very more heavy British accents, so I can speak to them in a very British accent. What do you mean, curse that pig? It was a great pig. You take that back. Yeah, both my grandparents taught me English, which is surprising to say considering I come from a very Asian family. But my grandmother was the one who taught me English. She's the one that taught me like pronouns and nouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, stuff like that. She's the one that taught me all of them. And she taught me them in a very, very heavy British accent. So I would say like she and her, he, him, stuff like that. Like I would say them all with like the strongest, heaviest British accent ever. Because my grandmother learnt English in England, so you know, it would be it would be very, very British. She gave you a good head start. That's good. My grandparents gave me a pretty good head start. And you know what's even weirder? My grandpa, he's the one that taught me y equals mx plus b. He taught me maths. Yeah, he taught me maths. I learned how to graph from my grandpa because he did engineering or something like in university. So he taught me that. But my grandmother was the one who taught me like the most basic stuff. So I learned like how to do long division from my grandmother. She was the one that taught me like basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, stuff like that. English. She would help me out a little bit with like any science experiments I had to do. And after that, it was just all up to me because she couldn't really tutor me after long division. And I don't think I could have asked her for any more either. 'Cause, I mean, she had to take care of my younger cousins who was like babies at the time. So I just, I had to go at it on my own from there. What do you mean proper maths? Maths are maths. People don't call it maths. The thing is, like, when I moved to Canada, I still called it maths and no one corrected me. No one said it had to be called math. And if anything, we actually never called it that. Like, I remember in high school, it would just be like functions or advanced functions and like calculus. I don't really remember what it was called, like, when I was younger than that. It's too long ago. I just remembered something. Today is the 1st of August, and that means it is National Girlfriend Day. Congratulations to any of you who have a girlfriend. Math is the most British thing here today. No, I wouldn't think so. If anything, I would say it was actually the schooling system that I went through, where you say year instead of grade. New Abyss rotations. Wait, fuck, I didn't know. Yeah, girlfriend. National Girlfriend Day. You ever heard of National Girlfriend Day? You can look it up. It's a real thing. Can't believe this. So what, Genshin's your girlfriend now? You taken by a game? You're gonna end up being like that guy who married Miku legally. And yet no one batted an eye. Like, everyone just accepted the guy married Miku, which is it's just crazy. You think there's gonna... Wait, is there free pools? Oh, wait, no, there is free pools. You're right. Okay, but see, I don't splurge on them that much. I don't splurge on them that much. Couples month. No, not couple. Girlfriend Day is a thing here in Spain. It's National Girlfriend Day, though. National Girlfriend Day. That's the difference. It's a National Girlfriend Day. Okay. Does National Girlfriend Day exist in Spain? Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. That's why I'm looking specifically in Spain, and it does exist. Yeah. It's said in Spanish, so I can't really pronounce it, but it's a thing. There's a National Girlfriend Day in every country. Ta-da! Yeah. I don't know if it's today though. If it's today in Spain, I just know it exists. I just know it exists. You know what? No. You know what? Maybe one day when you have a girlfriend, that girlfriend will tell you if it's National Girlfriend Day or not. Plus, I feel like I'm not okay. Not gonna lie. When I lived in Hong Kong, I feel like a lot of the like the holidays, the things that you celebrate, were adopted like into my schooling or like the way that I grew up. So in Hong Kong, Easter is not a big deal. And yet we get a whole entire week off of school because it's Easter. Like in April. I think Hong Kong is one of the most Asian places ever. You would think that we would have like maybe a day off for Easter, but no. It was an entire week. And yet when I moved to Canada, where it's like the western side of the world, where Easter really became like a big thing, we only have one day off of school instead of a week. To me, that was very weird. Like the holidays over there were very different from over here. But like, Christmas. Christmas is a big one. In Hong Kong, we would start Christmas break a week before Christmas, and yet over here in Canada, it would start like 2 days, 3 days before Christmas. Like, I would still be in school on the 22nd of December. And we would start school, at least in Canada, we would start school like either on the 3rd or the 5th, depending if it was like a weekend or something. But in Hong Kong, we would start school like a week later, like on the 7th or the 8th of January, which is insane. Like, to me, it's really, really weird because in Hong Kong, like, it's not. I mean, it's not an Asian holiday, you know? In fact, it's a very Western type holiday. And yet, like, we would celebrate it more. And I remember. Okay, so for Chinese New Year, that one's definitely like, we get like 2 weeks off of school. But in Canada, no one celebrated it at all. I had to tell my teachers, like, hey, I'm not going to be at school this day because it's a national, like, it's the National New Year. Not national, but like, it's Chinese New Year basically, and I can't be at school for this because it's supposed to be a holiday. My dad had like 2 weeks off work, and I was like, why not me? Christmas is a wonderful way to end the year. I love Christmas. Is Boxing Day still a thing in Canada? It's a thing everywhere. Thing everywhere, I think. People still celebrate it, which is nice. Does Brits just know how to organize all holidays? You know what? That is true. I actually had like, I think I had a better holiday time frame than in Canada when I was in Hong Kong. And the reason being is because you would have like an extended one. It wouldn't just be like a short 2 or 3 days off, it'd be like a week. Then people actually can organize like going on a trip or something. You know? Like you wouldn't just go off away for a weekend and then come back, right? There's actually one time, now I think about it, when I was a kid, my parents took us to Japan for like 3 days and 2 nights. It was like I would be at school on Tuesday instead because I skipped the Monday for being in Japan. There were times that my family did do something like that. Uh, so I don't know. I thought that was really cute. And oh, what else? There was What was it? It was... trying to remember. For Easter, it was like an entire week, right? So I remember going off to like Bali or something. Yeah, like Club Med. God, I loved Club Med. Club Med was so fun. So lots of good holidays over there compared to over here anyway, which is unfair. It's just unfair. I'm not a fan of the way the holiday system works over here. But you know what? That all becomes redundant the second you become an adult and you're working and you're doing stuff, I feel. You know, no one actually cares about these things as much. Sure, it's like you get a day off of work or something. But I mean, for me, every holiday becomes something that I have to celebrate on stream. Yeah, it just becomes that. I have to do things for stream now. Like, when when Christmas comes by, for example, I'd have to do an entire stream dedicated to Christmas, right? Or like, um, I don't know, like Easter. I remember doing a stream for Easter. That was fun. Or like Chinese New Year, I do a stream every year for that because I like to spread it, so people know what people actually do during that time of year. Hi, Hub. You just one day for another. Exactly. I mean, I'm lucky. I am my own boss, so I can decide when to take a day off and when not to take a day off. But either way, it's like I wouldn't want to take a day off during like important days of the year because I want to stay. I want to stream and I want to celebrate with everybody. So I choose to stay. Yeah. I don't have to, but I'd like to. And it's just different time zones, which makes it a bit complicated. The good thing about it though is like my family understands that like I want to do it and like it's a good time to do it. So, I mean, bonus for me or like celebrating the new year. I know one year I did it where it was like 1 hour behind me or something or 1 hour ahead or something like that. But actual countdowns I would save for like, family, which is really cute. Yeah. Yay. And I don't know. I think I like celebrating things. I think most of you guys know that I'm a very sentimental person. I write in my diary quite often, just like to remember the really big things. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. But I'm gonna. If you had a girlfriend, what would you do for National Girlfriend Day? Have you thought about it? That's true. I'm trying to think. If I was a girlfriend, what I would want. Am I supposed to? Okay, if it's National Girlfriend Day, that means there must be a National Boyfriend Day, right? National Boyfriend Day? Oh, it's in October. Okay, good thing I didn't miss it. Thursday, October 3rd. That's National Boyfriend Day. So, if it's National Girlfriend Day, that means that as a girlfriend, I would technically be celebrated? Right? Who's just wasting their monies on me? Wait, what? Oh, I heard the alert come from my headphones. Thank you, Hub, for that hoopla. And now we try to plan something she would like. Like what? Cute letter? Maybe cook. Ooh, what would you cook? Take her out to a place she wants to go. Hi, Nayu. Let's go to I just think if it were me, if I were a girlfriend for somebody, I would want. I would want a present. I think I want a present, like a physical present. You know, something practical though. Or mm, like yes, we would obviously go on a date. At least I'd hope to go on a date. Um, like a cute date at home would be nice. Yeah, practical gift. I like practical gifts. Like honestly, a new handbag would count as a practical gift, in my opinion. I would not like a necklace, no. I'm not a fan of wearing necklaces because then it gets my neck kind of itchy if I sweat, and I hate that. Go eat out? Yeah, I don't. Ah, wait, why don't you like Valentine's Day? I love Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day. You get free chocolate. Well, I get free chocolate. I've realized ever since becoming a VTuber, I've gotten a lot of free chocolate. Is it full on consumerism? No, I think I'd like to believe romance is not dead. You get nothing in return yet, unless it's White Day. If it's White Day, then you get something in return. A really cute plan for it already. What did you do? Oh, that's true. I guess it's a very Japanese thing. That's at least where I originally heard it from. That makes sense. But like I like the idea of White Day because I'd hate to take and not give back. So I'd like to celebrate White Day. I just don't really know. Is it March 14th? It's a month after Valentine's Day, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I just think it's not really polite if you just take everything you can or get all the free stuff on Valentine's Day and then never give it back. But I mean, at least in my head, I don't think it's full on consumerism because you don't actually need to get gifts, right? You don't. It's not a must. Sure, it's like all the stores around you are probably going to be like, buy this box of chocolates for your girlfriend, or like there's a Valentine's Day sale for like couple things. You know, obviously it does exist. I can understand that, but at the same time, I'm like, you don't have to buy anything for Valentine's Day. You don't need to. At least not for me, because I don't really care for things like that. At least realistically, I think if I had a boyfriend, I wouldn't really care. If anything, I'd really just want to like celebrate the day, you know, or like use it as an excuse to like go out on a date or like eat a meal together or watch a movie together. Not really like let's go out and buy as many things as possible, like roses and flowers and chocolate, because that to me is too superficial. Romance is not dead. Yeah, like it is just an excuse to have a special day. And you know what? It's like to me these days, at least hopefully in the future when I do have a boyfriend, that this is what it's going to be. But like things like National Girlfriend Day, Valentine's Day, even Christmas, Easter, just cute little holidays like that, right? I'm hoping that in the future that these days end up becoming just special days to remind each other like that we are together, or like we are a couple, or like it's an excuse to just do something special compared to like just a normal date, a normal outing of sorts. Yeah, I'm not the lovey-dovey type. I think most of you know that. I'm really not. So I think if anything, I'm a very needy type where I'd like to be around a person a lot, but I wouldn't be like, mm, I want roses and letters written to me, and I'm just not that type. I don't think. Yeah. You get me. That's the kind of love that I'd want. Go to a hotel away from them. Ooh, what you gonna do? Mm-hmm. Needing me an overload. Okay, well, think about it this way. At the moment, I am still painfully single. And every little bit of my life, I tend to tell the tenchis in some way or form. Whether it be in like the Hammer Time channel or like with the Copium Domino channel. I just end up telling you guys a lot of things that happened in my life, right? And some things, members things will be members things, but in general, I think I tell you guys a lot about what happens on my day to day life. And that is who I am, and that is how much I am needy to all of my tenchis, okay? If I had a boyfriend, it would be like that, but 10 times the amount. Where I will complain about, oh my god, I forgot to drink water today, or like, I need to go out and do blah blah blah. Will you come with me? At least I feel like that's what it's gonna be. Boom chicka wow. I haven't had that in so long. You like hearing about it? No, I don't think I'd ever stop. I really don't. I'm too needy for that. I'm very attached, Yeah, I think okay, you know what? You ever heard of a daddy's girl? Where you're like, um, every little thing you go to daddy for, like mom is getting angry, you go to dad, or like you're feeling sad, you want comfort, you don't go to mom, you go to dad. Or you want to play dress up, you don't go to mom, you go to dad. Stuff like that, like when you're a kid. Like everything that happens in your life, whether it be happy, sad, something you want to celebrate, or you're upset or you're angry, you would go to your dad, you know? I think I'd be like that, but like to a boyfriend. Oh my god, Tom. Shut up. Aww. But see, I think that's what I'd be like with a boyfriend. I would just constantly go to him as if I was a daddy's girl, but instead I'd be a boyfriend's girl. So it's not really a romantic thing. It's just like a company kind of thing. Well, that depends if I call my future boyfriend daddy, and I doubt that I would. This is a good biscuit. Yes. But I also think I would. Remember, Mikey, you said the ghosty thing of the hehe and the not hehe. I think I'm quite similar to that too. I'm Norman. Nom. Aww. I love ghosty stuff. It's so cute. Maybe. Maybe. Mm-hmm. I want to reach out to ghosty one day. It'd be really cute, I think. Ah, I am. I'm being good, I promise. Ah, I mean, At least I'm thinking like in the future I want to draw more stuff similar to what Ghosty does. Sometimes I go, this is I have a few ideas I want to do. I just need to edit them, and I haven't edited anything in a while. But I'll do it. It's just gonna take a while. But I'll do it. Yeah. I'll think about it anyway. Man, what time is it now? 2:24. Okay, just checking time because I have things that I really, really want to do today. You can't think of anything to draw. Me, me. I wish I drew myself more often. I realized that like I only draw myself in certain situations. You know, it'll be for like it has to be for work reasons. So like an emote, or it has to be like an illustration that I'll use for a thumbnail. You know, like I or like profile picture. I will never draw myself unless it has to be for like a reason. You have a whole list of ideas. Can you give me one? I do realize that I have to do my illustration thing, but I mean, that's for the future me to figure out. Because of the nature of the content. Okay. Okay. There are some things that I wanted to talk to you guys about because I had some ideas for the future. At least for like membership stuff, because I realized that I had to practice this a little bit off stream, and I haven't had that much time to do it. But some of the things that I've planned on doing is releasing like a monthly wallpaper stuff, like phone wallpaper things. And I'm trying to figure out the dimensions. I think that's like the toughest part because each phone is different, and I cannot cater to every single phone if I'm trying to do it in like one screen, you know? Like it just isn't possible. So what I plan on doing is just making one huge thing that's very simple, and then making it work with my phone. It do be the iPhone 15 Pro, I believe. Um, so I'm gonna try and make it work with my phone first, and then if it works out, then obviously I'll post it everywhere. But we'll see. I'm still planning things. I have ideas. I just think they're really, really cute, and I'd like it if you guys had that, you know? Bye, Zarford! There is no standard dimension. I hate it. Every 3 months? No, no, no. I think I could do it monthly. The only reason why I haven't done it monthly is because I have no ideas. Like, I need to come up with ideas, and I have a few. It's just not enough. You know? Like, I wanted to make them kind of like seasonal too, because I thought that'd be really cute. And I have like too many thoughts, too many ideas, things that I want to do. Andrew and me was me. Denji's with the script idea. Aww. Yeah, so I wanted to post those just for members because I thought that'd be really nice. Um, and I wanted to do like I know I haven't really played any new games lately. And my reason for that is because I just don't really feel the motivation to play any games lately. Besides my gacha games, which I feel like is just now a regular basis kind of thing. Like I just have to do them. The only reason why I haven't played any new games is really because for one, I don't want to buy any, and I hate playing games alone. I'd like to play games with other people. It just feels more exciting that way. Like we trained together, that was really fun. So I want to do more things like that. I don't really want to play by myself. Gacha games I can play by myself. That one's not too difficult because it's just so much to do. It's when you have games that are so empty and you're like, oh, this would be better with other people. So I don't really want to play any new one. And instead of doing new games, I want to do things like I want to go back to doing like the Teach Me Tenchi stuff. I can't make you do those every single month. I feel it's too much. But I was thinking I could do another outfit roasting stream because I love doing those. I need to see how different your closet has changed, or at least how differently you pair your clothes, okay? Like, this is a necessity. It takes time, okay? If we want to all look spiffy for off-kai next year, you have to start planning it now, okay? It takes time to make differences and changes, okay? So, we have to start now. And so, I want to do another one of those. My only issue with doing it is I don't really know if I'm going to get enough submissions for it or not. I'm still thinking. Or like, I wanted to do maybe like a PC setup thing. I did have a friend who was like, you should do a PC setup roast. So, I thought about that one too. And let me think. Let me think. Other idea. Oh, I wanted to do another like skincare. What's it? Skincare or like hair care or just in general like care kind of stream. Yeah. I hope you have a good time at work, Greg. Your PC is it that bad? No, no, no. Do not plan. Hi, Sona. Do not plan for that. Don't do that. No, no, no. If anything, just like wear jeans and nothing on top. I'd actually prefer that. I would rather see someone shirtless than wear plaid. I'm not gonna lie. The plaid just I hate it so much. It's disgusting. Please don't. Mhm. I'd rather see someone shirtless than wear plaid. I kid you not. It is less painful. Really. No, no. I'm trying to think of like content for the next couple weeks. I have to do the shopping stream. I have to do a shopping stream. I have to do I have to do. Don't you dare! I'll not. I'll not. I'm thinking I should also do the no English stream. We have to plan that one. I am not ready for it. My only like the only issue with that stream is if I do speak in a language that is not English, no one's gonna understand what I mean. No one's gonna translate, and it'll be very, very complicated. I could ask my mods. Thankfully, I have a mod who can speak Cantonese and Mandarin, and I have another mod that can speak Korean and Japanese. So I have two trilingual mods. And I think that stream would be the time to utilize them. But the only issue with that is the amount of delay. Because I would say something, and then they would have to translate it. You guys would have to read that and then respond to it. Instead of it was just me talking and you responding to whatever I say. So it would be insanely long. That's like I can't like I don't think I could stream comfortably like that. So instead of like doing an entire stream that's not like how do I put this? Instead of an entire stream without English, it would have to be me saying the thing I said and then translating it into English as soon as possible. But then it would like defeat the purpose of no English. You'd have to guess. Unless I can somehow get a translator like on the stream as I talk, you know? I want to see if that even exists. I'm pretty sure some people have that where it's like you get the like speech to text thing, but I don't know if that exists and how many languages I can do it in at the same time. If anything, I'm not gonna lie. I think the language that I would speak in the most would be Cantonese because I can speak it the most fluently next to English. Yeah, it is a thing. My issue is I would use Cantonese because I'm the most fluent in that next to English, right? So I'd have to find one that works with Cantonese, but unfortunately, a lot of the translators that exist in the world do not support Cantonese because it's not like a full language on its own, it's actually a dialect. And so it would actually be like Mandarin to English, and I'm not even that fluent in Mandarin either. So then I don't really know how I'd go about it. I still need to like think of the logistics of it. Yeah, it's definitely not as common. I mean, thankfully where I am, it's a very common thing. So I use it a lot, but it's just technology wise, it's not as common. And the reason why I would also say it's not so common in technology is because the tones are more complicated than Mandarin. So yeah. I mean, I like the language. I think it sounds great. I think it's really like it's not difficult for me. It might be difficult for other people. I've tried to make people pronounce things correctly in Cantonese and it's really difficult, especially if they've never spoken Cantonese in their life and never heard it. So I know it's difficult. I can't imagine if it's difficult for a human being. It must be even more difficult for like a computer to learn. Wait, did I get rated? Did I get rated? Cantonese hard to do be. It do be. For some people, yes. I got rated. Cha-cha. Oh! Wait, I remember Cha-cha. I remember Cha-cha. Cha-cha cute. I'm getting distracted by all the text. Fuck. My brain fart. My brain fart. Wait, I read that close to Chinese so you can understand it and I don't know. Oh, pain. Pain. Oh, Cha-cha rated me. So, 見て見て、見えだよ. I'm a multi-human Asian training polyglot that speaks 5 languages. Mino Mieko. You can call me Mie. Hi. Ow. I need to eat. I'm so hungry. I hope you had a nice stream. Nom, nom, nom. Yeah, I'm still thinking about how to do that one no English stream. I need to talk to my mods about it because they also have to be able to translate everything or like understand what people are saying in chat. So yeah, I'll think about it. I will. Don't worry. This stream won't be too long. I think it'll be like another hour at most. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Olivia. Nom nom. So I don't know. Because it's not even like a different accent kind of stream. It's a different language stream, and I think that makes everything more complicated. Are you used to my accent now? By the way, have you gotten used to it yet? Because I know my accent isn't the strongest, and I don't want it to be. And you know what? I think though is I'm not a voice actor, so obviously I can't really like manipulate it to a great degree. But naturally, this is probably how it sounds like myself. Like if I were to talk to myself, I would probably talk like this. Like off stream when I talk to myself, it sounds like this. When I'm on stream, I think I'm still too conscious of it, which is why I like flick back and forth between going from like very thick accent to like not as thick. I don't have the same inflections that like a very, very British person would have. So, you know, it just wasn't ingrained in me when I was a kid, and I don't want to force it out too much. Forcing it out too much kind of hurts. It hurts my brain, it hurts my mouth. Because it, like, what's the word? I can feel my mouth being like, you should pronounce something this way because you're streaming right now. And it makes my lips, like, tense up. Does Mia dream of British sheep? Sheep? Now that I think about it, probably. Oh, Emma, thank you. I mean, when you think about sheep, right? I think of it like in a grassland with like the fence, the wooden fence, and like a few hills, maybe some trees, and like a farm in the background. And to me, I don't think of like a stereotypical I'm not gonna say southern family that's like in the middle of like the outskirts of Texas or something, or like Alabama. I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm thinking Wales. I'm thinking Wales or like even Ireland. I'm thinking there, not like not the US. Well, I have a friend whose name is Tyr, and he is from Ireland somewhere. He can have a really thick Irish accent, so I'm very well aware of how it sounds. I just don't think I can mimic it. But yeah, I don't think of the most I think of the most stereotypical like English things, not so much American things. But I don't know, my accent isn't very strong. I don't like it being very strong either. I'm just not used to it. When I'm at home by myself or like with my family, then yes, it becomes much thicker, and I don't become so self conscious of it. But on stream, I don't think I have a choice but to be self conscious of it. So it's like kind of there and sometimes not there. And I don't want to lay it on too thick either because I think I get very embarrassed by it. So you think they're amazing? I think they're difficult. I've heard it a bunch, but it's hard to listen to. Half. I do say half, but that's like on a regular basis. It's the regular accent. That's when I'm not being too conscious of it though. And when I'm around certain people, I'll say can't if I have to. But it's still really, really weird. Like that A sound is so harsh, and it's like I. It's so difficult to say. I promise I'll finish my food at the end of the stream. I promise. I swear I will. Nom, 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 nom. Nom. Did I ever tell you guys a story of me being made fun of for this accent, though? Did I ever tell you guys that? I don't know if I ever did. I try not to bring up the too many detailed stories of like how I was made fun of, but this one's kind of funny to me. I think I told you guys of the one of like where I was in the playground, like in recess, and some kid just came up to me knowing that I had this accent, or like knowing that I wouldn't say they knew of the accent, they just knew I was a new kid, and I still had a very at least at the time, I still dressed very Hong Kongese-ish. I did not have the most Canadian fashion. And you can tell when someone has a very different fashion sense, okay? So over here, some kid just came up to me and was like, very slowly said that, "Do you speak English?" And because I still had the posh accent, it was much, much worse than this when I was a kid. It softened out. Like when I first moved away from Hong Kong, my accent was, if you think of Tom, think of him, but like twice as posh and twice as preppy. And maybe like 3 times as formal. Just imagine Tom, but like in the worst setting possible. Tom from the 1800s. If you think of him like that, that was my accent probably. Yeah, I basically spoke that way. It was terrible. And I also think that might be one of the reasons why I choose not to like lay on the heavy accent. Because when I spoke that way when I was a kid, it was it did not sound like it was coming from a kid basically. I wasn't talking like I was 5. I was talking like I was 15 or 50. So I don't want to talk that way anymore. or ever again, in fact. But the thing is, I did talk that way at a point in time, and I grew up that way. So when I when I was here and people were like talking to me in like a very casual way, I wasn't sure how to respond because I'd never really talked that casually before. I only learned how to talk a little more casually and not so formally through Disney Channel and Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. So it was definitely not like something I learned from my social circles. And even as a kid who just like was in kindergarten or like from year 1 to 6, you would expect like, you'd have fun, right? But the games that we would play as kids were things like house, where there's a mom and a dad, a baby, and like a pet. It's not like conversing with people. It was like a stereotypical family structure. And like a dad would go to work, a mother would stay home and take care of a baby and a pet dog. There was like nothing else to do. We just wouldn't have like different ideas as kids. No one would play tag because we weren't the kind of we were too posh and prim and preppy to run around in our nice black shiny shoes and like knee-high white socks. Okay, we're too formal and posh for that. And even the boys, they wouldn't like really, run around in grass or like get dirty in any way. It wasn't something they did. If anything, most of them would actually just sit down and read a book. And if you wore glasses, you were actually a very, very popular person because they'd be like, "Oh my god, you got glasses! You look so cool." It'd be like that. No one was ever made fun of for wearing glasses around me. Yeah, we're too posh for the outside. Everyone loved it when the library opened in the summer and you were allowed to go in there and read books for the entire recess or lunch break. Like everyone wanted to be there for some reason. No one wanted to enjoy the outdoors. People would fight over books, not toys. That's kind of the place I grew up in. It sounds like a cult, but yeah. So moving to Canada and some kid just maybe like 2, 3 years younger than me, shorter than me and everything, just coming up to me and was like, "Do you speak English?" God, I was so pissed. So I basically said yes, but in a very posh, mean, senile sounding way. Yeah. It, I mean, I know it was something along the lines of like, yes, I do speak English fluently, thank you very much, but it was like worse than that. It was like a lot worse than that. And I think I scared the kid away because he looked like he was about to cry and then ran away. I felt bad for it like, for the kid after that, just a little bit, but I was also very pissed. Wasn't that was my wedding ambush? Yes. Like it was just mean. you know, it was just mean. But if you like, that wasn't even the first time someone did that to me. It was like multiple kids who thought that I didn't understand English and they would shit talk me behind my back. And I would have to like tell them off, like, yes, I can hear every single word that you say and understand every single word that's coming out of your mouth. And I would just, ah! I mean, of course, people would know after some time that I did speak English once rumors went around. But like, then again, after that, no one really made fun of me. So I did what I had to do. Oh my god, now that I think about it, the only other person that I've genuinely used my accent with is Omango. I've never had any other friend who I've accent switched with in a very, very long time. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Harry Potter would do that. I really don't. I don't think it was that powerful. Because, like I said, uh, I mean, well, I guess in Canada it'd be different, but in Hong Kong, books were more popular than TV shows. Sounds like you make fun of your looks, not your accent. It was a bit of both. Because then people would start mimicking me behind my back. That was one thing. When they realized that I could speak English, it just happened to be that they heard me in the most posh way and with the strongest accent. That was still very thick at the time. And they would mimic me quite a bit, thinking that I was too, like, I was too posh for them, or I thought I was better than them because of the accent. Yeah, and my looks were different at the time too. They were because I never went to public school before until coming to Canada. That was the first time I went to public school, and I was finally allowed to wear clothes that I wanted to wear, not a school uniform. So people would treat me differently because of that. Did you maybe, but I mean, I didn't want to be. Being popular was not on my list of things that I wanted to be. If anything, I wanted to like lay low. The thought of being a popular kid is actually very scary. And honestly, like when I was in high school, I don't think I was a very popular person, but I was someone that people knew. And when I think of the popular people, I can't imagine being them. You know? Like I don't think I would want to because it's so scary to have people think about you as that person. I don't think you realize how scary that can be. Because I did have a friend, like a good friend, who was a popular person because she was part of the like student council. She was in like the volleyball team, badminton teams. She did like math decathlon stuff, and she knew she was doing a lot. And she had a bunch of friends, and people looked up to her a ton because she not only was she in those things, but she also was just a genuinely good person, which is why I was friends with her. And the way people got popular in my school anyway was the second you started dating someone, that you were in a relationship with someone, that's when people would be like gossipy and they would ask you a bunch of questions and then they figure out who you are and they're like, oh my god, you know? So that's how she got popular, because she started dating someone who was actually very sweet. And I think they're still together actually now that I think about it. But that's how she was that's how she became popular. And she knew that people would think of her a lot. Like they would come to her for questions, ask her a bunch of things. They would talk about her from like the sidelines, and she felt really ostracized because of it, even though people looked up to her a ton. So it's like a 50-50 of good and bad in a way. I'm glad to be like that second character that doesn't actually get the attention. You know, I'm okay with that. Hi Argonaut. Is it wonderful? Is it? Well, I'm glad. My accent isn't as strong as some like friends VTubers who live in the UK itself, but I mean, it do be there. Yeah, it is a lot of pressure, and I felt really bad for her because she knew of the eyes watching her, that if she failed or if she didn't do well, people would say things or talk about her in a lot of ways, and she didn't like that very much. But it's because she participated in a bunch of things just so that her university resume would look even better. It caused a lot of problems. I wouldn't want to be like a popular kid. There was like one guy in the entire high school who did have like the most, I guess, mm, like a strong French accent. Yeah, like a very strong French accent. I think of like, I'm trying to think of some Tenchis who have that accent. Someone like someone like Kaido or Reante in a way. A little bit like Reante. And I don't know, like Grim probably. Yeah, like just some French, like stronger French accents. He was like that, and a lot of girls just wouldn't stop trying to talk to the guy. Yeah, kind of. It is a lot of pressure, right? Perhaps, yeah. And I felt really bad. So he would get a lot of attention, and when I realized that, I was like, oh, there's no way I'm ever gonna let people know that I had this accent, because when I was in middle school, that was like grade 8, right? And then you go to a different school in high school, there's a bunch of new kids who don't actually know you that well. So once I got to high school, I was like, there is no way that I'm going to use this accent ever because I didn't want to stand out. I just wanted to go to school, have friends, and live my life normally. But instead, every single guy friend, almost every single guy friend that I ended up making confessed to me at some point or another that I just didn't realize until now, which I still not over it. You think it's kind of cute? Thank you. You know you can be posh with an American accent too? It sounds terrible, but you can. French too sexy for them? They were 14. I don't think it's too sexy. Yeah, you can. Just think of like doing business presentations. It's gross, but I mean, yeah. You can use the same accent, you just start enunciating better. Yeah. A thick Scottish accent. Do you sound like the girl from Brave? That movie? I love that movie. With the Vikings. I'm still numbing, so give me a second. Oh my god, it's getting kind of hot. Give me a second. I want to turn the fan on. I'm back. You think so? No, Reg, it's possible. What does Posh American even sound like? I can try it for you one day, but not today. Today is not the day. Bye bye, Reg. I don't think I've gotten any yet, no. Which is fine. Honestly, probably better because I don't know if I want any of my British friends to actually come into the stream. I have a couple friends who are from Britain, right? And they actually do. They know that I have the accent. I just choose not to use it because I get shy about it. I get really, really shy. So I can use a little bit of it on stream, but not a lot. And I can tell like there are some words that I say that I'm still trying to mask a little bit. So like any of like double T words, I still try to mask just a little bit. Like any words with like an A, I will say differently. It just sound like a politician. Oh god, no. Oh god, no. I'm just thinking like one day. Mm, if I do the Lolita fashion stream, I think wearing that plus the accent would just be the icing on the cake, you know? I have to work that out though. No. What would I what would I what would be in it for me? You'd have to do a truth or dare too. For Lolita Princess, huh? Well, it depends on what kind of Lolita vibe I'm going for. Right? I'd have to pick like a certain vibe. Oh, just a month from a private academy. I mean, I kind of was one. In my day, yes, I was one. I think it's because like as a streamer, okay, if you think about maybe some of you don't know this. Actually no, I think a majority of you don't know this anymore, except for Marky maybe, because back in the day when I first started streaming, the way that I spoke was definitely not as casual. I did actually have like this normal air of formality. You know, I didn't speak the way that I normally do. I've evolved a lot since then. But when I first started streaming, my laughs, my giggles, my just the way I spoke was so reserved, and it was not the way that I normally talk. At least not now, anyway. I did, right? Like it wasn't the same. It was so different back then. I would, you know, like my laughs were basically filtered. My giggles were like also filtered. I wouldn't laugh, to be honest. Like I don't think I've genuinely laughed on a stream during those times. I would giggle, but that was it. Yeah, it was because that was just how I was normally. Like that's how I was always talking to other people in person and on stream. I realized that it was, you know, that was just how I was normally and I couldn't change it. And then over time I got comfortable. And then only then did I start learning more about the internet and the world and how other people actually spoke, because I talked to people who were not like in my circles, in my family directly. And that is when I was told like, "Oh my god." Yeah, it's because like other people what's it like other people in VC just taught me things. I felt very educated at the time. So it was, you know, I was able to develop a sense of casualty from it. And I brought my walls down a little bit lower. And I think that's what made it easier to do streaming as like a normal basis kind of thing. Yeah. And I started to enjoy it more, you know? I started to enjoy life just a little bit more, and I didn't have to speak so like formal anymore. But maybe you would have noticed when we were at Offkai, there were times where I just what's the word? Like there were times at Offkai where I had to put on the you know, I had to put on the formal thing. Yeah. There were times I just felt like I had to. Ah, thank you, Pam. I hope you have a great day too. Wait, Sassy, you noticed it? Wait, how? Can you explain? You noticed it? Did you? Oh, fuck. I just. Maybe I noticed from like mannerisms. I think that is one thing I cannot hide is my mannerisms. When I like talk to people, I like stand stick straight. Or like when I meet people for the first time, I'll stand stick straight. Or like when I laugh, sometimes I'll cover my mouth. Or like I'll bow a little bit. And I'll like, I don't know, give people personal space. You could tell? Okay, I'm glad. I did have a business mode. Yes, you're right. I did have a business mode. What do you mean right there? Where? Hey, Emma. Hello. I like my... I mean, I understand having a business mode because I needed one. But at the same time, like... I wanted to relax. I wanted to have fun. I think I had a good time in general. I just had a good time. Yeah. But business mode is necessary, and I think everybody has one anyway. Did you guys notice my business mode? Was it that strong? Ain't no way it was that strong. I tried to tone it down around you guys. I tried. Not that I was successful, but I tried. That part was cute. Okay, I'll look at it later. Code switching is a useful skill. I use it quite a lot. Unexpectedly. On stream, I'll have the Canadian accent with a mix of like a few British words. Off stream, by myself, alone, in my room, I probably sound like this, with like less of the Canadian. And then when I'm in VC, I just have the Canadian accent, but it's not a formal way of speaking either. I don't think. And then I think with my family, I have a mix. It's probably sounding like this, to be honest. It's not a strong accent, and unless you listen very carefully, you won't hear it. But it's there. You didn't drop the business mode until like the last 2 days. Hey, no way! I did. I thought. Well, I can imagine the Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't drop it, I guess. There were times I had to, like when I cried. I dropped it then. 10 out of 10 definitely dropped it then. But it's scary. It's scary. Being around new people and crying in front of them is very scary, okay? Especially when it's within the first few times that I've met you. It's gonna be scary. Okay? Yeah. It is a vulnerable thing. Yeah. I understand that. I see it in myself where it was sometimes casual, sometimes not. Um it's the mannerisms, you know? I remember there was one night that we were just all talking in the atrium. It was after like that whole day of going out. And I think that was the night that we found out that Nazu was very, very sick. Which I felt really bad about. But I think it was that night that I really let the business mode go away. But like you'll never know. You'll never know until it happens, I think. I cry very, very easy. I don't know why, but I cry very, very easy. I wish I didn't. I don't cry easy. And it makes me vulnerable. I don't want to cry easy. Crying easily is like the last thing that I want to be. You know what, Sashi? That does make sense, yes. I find like there are times like the streamer mode, I feel like, well, when I think about talking to my friends who are also VTubers, I notice when they have streamer mode on. And I'll hear a completely different voice from them on stream versus off stream. There was one time I was in a VC with just a bunch of other VTubers, and one of them came in, and then they started talking, and I was like, "Who is this?" I swear, because it's like, I swear I knew everybody in that VC. Like I looked at all the names, and I was like, I know each and every single one of you, and I know exactly how each of you sound like, because I've visited every single person's streams here, and yet I was like, "Who is this person that's talking?" And then for a moment, everyone was quiet. And then that one person who I didn't really recognize the voice of started talking. And I was just like, oh shit. Is this how you normally sound like? But I didn't want to say anything. You know, no one actually talks about it very much. And I think some people are similar to me, where they're like fairly consistent. I do have a streamer voice. I know I do. And even off stream, I can kind of carry that same streamer voice if I try really hard, but like I don't really want to. Yeah, and when there was just one stream I heard someone do like a, I don't want to say who this is. There was one stream where a friend of mine was like doing a mommy voice. The mommy voice. I can't even say mummy. It's more like mommy voice. And then off stream, I realized that that mommy voice that they were doing was the natural voice compared to like the voice that they normally streamed with. So I was like, how do you? You're so consistent, you know? Like, you'd have to be so consistent with the streamer voice that you have compared to your normal voice for people to really think that's the mommy voice. Yeah, the mommy voice. Instead of your natural voice. That is like a skill, you know? And changing your voice for extended periods of time is not healthy. I've realized that. Back in the day, 2021, That's when I really used like a streamer voice, I think. I tried really, really hard to use a streamer voice. And my voice was higher because I was very nervous and I was scared and I didn't know how to talk to people. Public speaking was never really my strong suit, okay? I didn't know how to yap. I didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to speak with other people. I just felt like I was talking to myself. And then that's when the streamer voice came out and I got nervous. So it went higher, so I sounded cuter. I didn't really have like a British accent either, but it was just formal. I guess my sentence structure didn't really change. And then I listened to other friends who what's the word? Like I listened to the friends who are so natural at using their streamer voice and off stream it's like, God, you're a different person. Like how even what like how do you do that? I don't know how people do that. I can't imagine being able to do that. I have to depend on which friends I had. I love wait. I love you, but I don't know how to. Ah, same. What do you mean natural British out? I feel like if I start ranting about something, that's when you'll hear it, because then I just don't really think about it. Yeah, maybe they are just locked in. I do get that sometimes, but not very often. Yeah, it's on and off for me too. Like today is one of those days where I can like leave it on and I can keep going on and on and on about random shit. But then there's like other friends who just they have like they have a voice switch, you know? And I'm like, how have you convinced your entire community of like thousands and thousands of people that this is your natural voice when clearly it is not? Like I don't know how people do that. I wish I could figure that out. I'd like to know the secrets. I would like to know the secrets. First and foremost, I'd like to know how to change my voice in such a drastic way. I'd really, really like to know, because then I could learn how to do it. But I don't know how to do it at the moment. So like I want to know, and I'd like to know how to convince my people that it's my natural voice. Maybe I'm just faking it this entire time. Me and mommy voice when never. I think that's the one accent you'll never hear from me. I was told, okay, remember, okay, I did a stream with Poco and Pia and Honey. And in that stream, they said that my bro Mia voice sounded like a Valorant gamer. Back then, bro Mia was very rough, yes. I mean, I can do it a bit easier now, but it's like not, it's not strong. It's a cute difference though. Because that's the voice that I put on whenever I like talk to people on the phone or what's the word? Like I go out with friends in person. Like if I go out and hang out with Reina, for example, like when I'm not on stream, obviously, when I go out and hang out with Reina in person with like our other friends, I have the Bromia voice most of the time. Eh. I'm too cute otherwise, okay? Oh my god. Okay. I need to tell you a story. I think some of you know, on Sunday, I went to a barbecue and it was really, really fun sometimes. Really bad other times, but really fun most times, I think, besides a few things. And when I was there was an uncle of mine who said that I had a very cute voice. And no matter what I did, I was talking in the Bromia voice too. Okay, like this was like my lower tone. And he was like, "You have a very cute voice. No matter how many years have passed since I've known you as a baby, you've always just had a cute voice." And I was like, "So the Bromia is cute as well? Like my lower voice is cute as well?" And he was like, "Yeah, it is." And I was like, "What?" I wasn't trying to be. I wasn't trying to be. But he said it was still kind of cute. And he was like, "It's not like a high pitched voice. It's probably like a mid tone voice, but it's still very cute." And he was like, "I don't think it's in the way that you sound. It's more just the way that you talk." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "It's not the tone that makes you cute or not. It's like the way that you speak." I was like, "What do you mean the way that I speak?" He was like, "I can tell it's not a high-pitched voice." And I was like, "So the pitch doesn't matter when it comes to being cute or not. It's just the way that I speak. Like, what does that even mean? Is it my sentence structure? I got my voice out. What does that mean? Is it like just the words that I say? Is it the way I enunciate? Is it my sentence structure? Is it like what even? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm very heated about it. A multitude of factors? The soul of my voice in Chas, I'm like a fucking witch. Intonation? My bottle water. No, I don't have a bottle. I actually have a mug. Word choice gaps between words? Yeah, I do drop in a lower tone when I speak with the accent. It's because I just subconsciously probably think that like I need to be lower. Like I have to speak lower. And when you do the accent, it comes more from the chest, not so much the throat. I naturally speak with my throat more than my chest. Body language, but I haven't. You don't really see any of that. I guess I hope not right now, because I'm in my pajamas. The attitude? So it's not my words, it's the attitude that I have. I'm confused. I'm confused. Well, he could say that, but still just listen to my voice, right? Everything. Everything. Okay. But still, like, I wasn't even talking to him like I do as I stream, and I'm sure most of you have heard me, like, on stream, talking, yapping. But, like, I guess in Discord too. But it's fairly similar. Fairly similar from what I understand. So, when my uncle was like, yeah, you're still cute, I was like, what? So, like, then my mom, she was on the side listening to this conversation because I was talking to my uncle and he was just like, yeah, you still sound cute, and you still speak like, apparently the way that I spoke was slower. Like I slowed down compared to like when I guess we last met, which was a couple years ago. And he was like, yeah, you slowed down a lot. Because when I was a kid, I used to speak incredibly fast. Like no one could understand what I said because I spoke too fast. And no one tried to like, they didn't really force me to correct it. They just were like, you should slow down. They never really was like slow down. They never pushed it onto me to like not speak so fast. But it's because my mouth would move as quick as my brain. And yeah, I was high speed yapping. I really was. And not in like a bad way. Everyone said it was cute, which is I think a reason why no one really corrected that. So I don't know. I just think it was it was a thing, I suppose. So when I spoke to my uncle, he was like, "You slow down, and I can hear exactly what you're saying, but at the same time, like it's still cute." I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what kind of a compliment? Is this supposed to be an insult or a compliment? I don't know." Because he's insulting my former self, and that's what made me feel a bit strange about the compliment because it didn't feel too complimenty, you know. So yeah, yeah. It is what it is. I thought it was cute though, I guess. The way that he approached me about it, he was like, you haven't really changed that much over the years. Because he's known me since I was, well, he saw me as a baby. This uncle saw me as a baby. And then he saw me when I was 14. For like, maybe like up until I was 18. And then I barely saw them. And then the COVID happened, so obviously I didn't see them. And then for the first time in maybe like 3-4 years, I finally see them again. And he was like, you still look as cute and small as I remember. I was like, okay, thanks. Maybe it is a difference. I realized that in Cantonese, I actually talk really quickly. I shouldn't, but I do. And I could slow down. I just choose not to. It's a choice. It's a choice. Does it change that? I mean, he is like 6 feet. Almost. So no small person who needs to be reminded that they are small. Thank you. That does help. That does help. I was reminded that I was small many, many times that barbecue, which is very unfortunate. I know my aunt, one of my aunts, was like, "You haven't really changed for one." Again, it's just haven't really changed, and I. It was unexpected how small I actually was. That was another thing that was said. Yeah, UPS military remembered as 18? Did they tell you that you're... You know what? One of my aunts that were there has a very, very British white husband. And yes, I was reminded that I was small from this very, very tall white man. You know, he's like in his 80s or 70s or something. He's old. Old white balding man from the UK. And we were watching like the Olympics. I think it was the gymnastics. And he was like, "Yeah, it's always the small Asian women that are your size who do well in gymnastics." I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's true, I guess." I mean, he's not wrong. The smaller the person, the like, closer you can be to your center of gravity, and that means that you can do more things with gymnastics, and it's great. But at the same time, like, you know, yeah, he from the UK. I mean, Simone Biles is actually very, very short. She's shorter than I am, now that I think about it. But like, you know, you don't have to be small and Asian. You can just be small. You may, mate. I'll take it. I don't know, man. I just didn't think that my size would really have to be brought up a lot that one barbecue. Uh, uh. What time is it now? I gotta keep track of time. I can't stay here for too long. Because I have worked it out. No, I expected it, to be honest. I've noticed that every single dinner that I have with my family, this might just be an Asian thing too. They bring up my height. They bring up, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have a boyfriend? Um, when do you plan on moving out? Um, what kind of jobs do you want in the future? You know, just that. You know, yeah. And it's every family dinner. Every family dinner. And they ask me like, well, they ask me my plans for the future, which is mostly like the entire thing. Because the reason why they say, "What are your plans for the future?" is because this involves everything from like having a spouse to having kids to having a job to having different kinds of jobs to, you know, owning property and investments and just everything to do with taxes. So, you know, that is why they say, "What are your plans for the future?" And they don't actually have to ask every single question that's related to it. Grandkids when? I mean, I want my own kids. I'm not gonna lie. I've said that I want my own kids, and I'm not budging on it. Do you have a girlfriend yet? Hey, Adobo, do you have a girlfriend yet? Beautiful sarcasm, then you plan to start a series of medicine so fun. Maybe I could just say I plan on moving to some, like, off the grid place somewhere in, like, Scotland. See, I'm lucky. My family doesn't actually compare me. Like, or at least maybe they do in their heads, but they've never said it out loud. Not to my face. Oh, Kyle. Oh, Kyle. It is important to find the right guy, though. You want someone. Okay, you know what, Kyle? I have the perfect girlfriend for you. You need one that understands Splatoon. Okay, you need one that plays Splatoon with you. You need one that understands Python, and you need one that will like be totally okay with you flying across the country to meet some friends that you've never met in person. You just need that. And obviously one that loves you, you know, that's very, very standard. But you know, it's like that's the thing you definitely would want. Using AI countries would be very much off the grid. True. No, I'm not talking about myself because I don't understand Python. And I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I'd be very comfortable with like future boyfriend flying off somewhere just to meet up with like a friend or something without me, or like without me meeting them first. I'd have to know who they were. Never a girl space friend before a girlfriend. Okay. Well, you know what? You should have those. You should have those. I think like I'm in this really weird spot where I have a good mix of like female friends and male friends, and they're like, what's the word? They they're in different groups though. So I have like a female friend group, and then I also have like a male friend group, and I'm like the token female of that group. It's a very weird dynamic, I suppose, but it works out. And some of those guy friends are like, well, I have one that's married, friend that's married, another one who's in a very loving relationship, and another one who's like kind of close by. So we can hang out, but I don't really see them that often. It's more like online. Um, and I have a friend who is was recently broken up, unfortunately, and so he's just crying a lot. But a lot of like female friends I have are like Reina, Rio. Those are two female friends that you guys do know of. I have a couple of others, and one of them recently got engaged. The other ones are like in relationships, or one of them is like very happily single. She does not want to be in a relationship right now. Um, that's the normie. Yes, that's the normie circle. Some of them aren't very normie. Some of them are not. But you know, they exist. The gamey ones and the not so gamey ones. Thank you. I will tell her that you said that. Don't tell friend what day is it. They already know. They already know. Yeah, he cried about it a little bit in our group chat, like our friend group chat. And he was like, if only I still had my girlfriend, I'd be doing this and this and this today. And I'd be like, oh yeah, so sorry to hear that your plans didn't work out. I didn't know what else to say. You meet your future boyfriend at your friend's wedding, just like how my parents met. I don't know about that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really want to meet my future boyfriend through another friend like that. I'd like to meet them naturally, like through my own means. And that does not mean I'm gonna have like a dating app. You know, I don't. I hate the thought. There's just one thing about dating apps that I hate, and that it gamifies relationships and superficiality. I hate it. Yeah, they're just very very shallow because you're looking at you're looking at a list of things that people are putting out for you. You're not really getting to know a person, not until you like meet them, right? So you know what they say that they like or what they dislike. But is it true? They're looking for a certain type of person, but is that true when it comes to you or not? You will never know until you actually talk to the guy. Yeah, no, I can't stand the thought. And plus it's like swiping left and right, which means you are looking at a picture, a few words or so maybe that, you know, they want to say about themselves. And then you say yes or no to that. And I just feel like that's so cruel. It sounds so cruel to have to look at people like that. That's what I don't like, though, is that you're treating it like a game. I don't want to treat it like a game. Because to me, that defeats the purpose of being in a relationship, because it's not a game. Yeah. Yeah, maybe like you know that rule with resumes, right? Is like you want to make it easy to read, and at most someone will spend 30 seconds on your resume looking at the front and the back, and if they don't like it, they'll just move on. That's like a simple like way of thinking about resumes. And that's what I think people are looking at dating apps like, and I hate it. It does demean everybody. And you know what? I'm happy for anybody that it works out for, because then you'll like, you'll definitely meet someone that you like, and it could genuinely work out. Like I know it's worked out for a bunch of people. I just don't think for me it would. At least not with the way that I look at it or think about it. I don't think it'd work for me. And I don't really want it to. You know, I don't plan on it anytime soon. Wait! Okay, thinking about it. Did you know that there is a thing for VTubers that looks like a Tinder account? It looks like a Tinder app, and you could like swipe left and right on VTubers you want to collab with. I heard someone was like making an app like that, which is crazy. No matter how hard I try, at the end of it depends on someone else. There's no way for me to work hard to make. Yeah, it's a team effort, right? It's a team effort. You can't do it alone. In the most of the time. Yeah. Is if they were gender bent? Yes. Oh my god. Does it? Yeah, it looked like a VTuber Tinder thing, but for like doing collabs and stuff. Well, that's the thing. Like you never know. And the one really funny thing about VTubers is that people look at the model a lot to derive something about a person. So like for me, they know just by looking at me that I like the cute shit. I like cute shit. I like being cute, and I like doing cute things and playing cute games. I never play something scary. I think when you look at me, you can kind of get that idea, or like that kind of vibe. But like with other people who have more intense looking models, you'll think, oh, they are definitely okay with like spooky things. You know? Homesters wasting their monies on me. Yes, Hub, I would. Thank you for that. Let's cope with the person might have a choice on the design. Yeah, see that's a different situation. I'm thinking with indies, and that's typically what the V Tinder was supposed to be for. You think so? I can become a goth person if I tried. Do you want me to become goth? I think it'd be possible if I tried really hard. I think it'd be possible. I'm not gonna lie. I do think it'd be something I could do. Well, the person has, especially if it's both sides. Yeah. And some I won't say all, but some corpos do allow people to have their like own inputs on the model and stuff. Is it happening without suffering? You gonna put on dresses? Okay. Okay. Yeah, you do see it with the second outfit most of the time. But it really depends, you know? It'd have to be a collective effort. And you know what? Like, I love my pastel looking vibes. I love my new outfit the way that it is, and I think it's great. The only thing that I think is missing now is something for like EP time, nighttime streams, chill vibes, you know? I need a model like that. We'll get it one day. I'm sure we'll get it one day. When? I do not know, but one day. I do want to save up money for it though. Yeah, I want to save up monies. Comfy model outfit. Yeah. One day. One day I'll get it. I believe. Okay, did I ever give you guys a skin update, by the way? Did I ever give you that? I need a drink. Where's my No, I haven't. I think I should just do general health update. So, let's just say it's bad again. Um, oh wait, Map, you might not know this. I have eczema, like really bad eczema. I say eczema, but most of the world say eczema, and I feel like it's a really weird way of saying it. Um, Unfortunately, it's very bad. I'm not doing great. So the back of my neck is really, really rough right now. Um, I think it's because of the sweat one night, and I started itching it a lot, so it's pretty rough. The back of my neck, and like the base of my neck, I would say, where my hairline is, around there, is where it was. Um, so that doesn't feel great. And like the base of my neck at the front also has a little bit. So when I turn my head, I can feel the skin pulling tight, and it does not feel great. My hands are also not doing very well. It keeps cracking. My left pinky specifically keeps cracking every time I put it in a fist, and I hate it. My wrist is also not doing great. The skin got really thick on those areas. And the bit between my thumb and my index finger as well, that part is not doing great. All my joints have something. All my joints have a little something on them. And because I've been sleeping on my back a lot recently, my back is like a big rash right now, and it feels so uncomfortable. I hate it a bunch. It's basically a big rash. Just my entire back is like a huge rash. So wearing a bra or like anything that's, on it feels really uncomfortable. Money, 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 money. For the Ojola Sama Pajama Fund. Thank you, Conrad! Yeah, the heat is not great. It's 31 degrees outside. It is 26 degrees in my room. It is very hot. I'm dying. I wish it wasn't so hot. But it is, and I can't do anything about it. So yeah, the heat wave is terrible this year. It's normally not this hot. I think like in the summer, most of the time it's actually going. It usually only goes to 25. Now it's at like in the 30s, and it's been in the 30s for a very long time. And I think that's what's really causing it to flare. So my legs are also not doing great. My knees are bad. My thighs are bad. My legs are bad. There's like a lot of scarring now. And that is why, like, that is the main reason why I haven't done that one post about putting the top donators and the $100 donos from the donathon on my thigh. Is because I literally cannot write on them right now. If I did, I would like go over open wounds, and obviously I don't want to do that. So, you know, I'm gonna have to wait on that one. I'm gonna have to wait. I also have it like, I don't know if you guys remember, but from Offkai, I had some on the bottom of my feet, like kind of where the balls of my feet were. And they are still unfortunately there, and it has not gone away. So I've been walking kind of funny for the past couple months. Yeah. I'm so glad the people who did donate are like patient people. That is very, very, very good for me. Yeah. I hate that you guys have to wait for that one because I think that was one of the funny ones. But my thighs haven't been doing so great, so you're gonna have to wait just a little bit longer. Hopefully, like when the summer dies down, I can do it. Yeah. I'm hoping like in the coming months because it's gonna be I mean, it's August now, so that means we're gonna hit. At least, hopefully, we're going to start hitting the autumn season? Question mark. So maybe then I'll be a little bit better, and then my thighs will not be suffering. I will wait. That is true. You are big fans willing to donate that much. I love fall. I love the season so much. It's when my skin actually does best because it's not too humid, not too dry. The weather's not too hot, not too cold. It's just perfect, and I love it so much. It's also the season you get to wear the best clothes, in my opinion. August is always like a mix of both, like, but I think October is like the best season for having really cool clothing. It has a cool aesthetic. Yeah, you're right. Halloween. The one thing I hate about winter though is when everyone wears black, because everyone just thinks wearing black is like the cool colors for the winter, and I'm like, God no. Where's all my like fall colors? Like a brown eyeshadow and a coat, a nice brown leather coat, or like just not black. Even gray. Gray is even better. Okay. You can wear clothes, yes. Ugh. Ugh. Ay, 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 ay. None of you! Dude, are you... Okay, I actually have a serious question. Are you saying the plaid just to make me, like, cringe? Or you genuinely just think wearing plaid is the way to go? I need a genuine answer. Please. Money, 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 money. AC fun for less sweat. Thank you, Charity. Thank you, thank you. I hope I will have less sweat. Like my skin, I think throughout this entire stream, I have been itching in at least one spot. Like I will not stop because it's just that irritated right now. And I don't know if a lot of you really know about this, but my skin does interfere with my daily life quite a lot. I do things on a regular basis that you guys probably won't even consider, like moisturizing every morning and night after taking a shower, doing skincare stuff, putting on medication, eat or not eating certain things, and avoiding certain foods, just any kind of care really. Like when I go shopping for clothing, I have to look at the materials it's made out of. And I can't really try them on in person because every time I try on clothes in person, it makes my skin flare. And I think it's because of all the dust. Like those clothes in a store probably just got shipped from some country in like cargo and it's all dusty. So I can't really try on clothes in person. Otherwise, it will make me itch. And so I just have to buy them and then try it on after I wash it. So I have to be really careful. Yeah, I have to be really, really careful when it comes to clothing. Yeah. Yeah, they do not wash clothes. I have friends who have worked in retail and have said the same thing. So yeah, like when I go to stores in person, I actually am not supposed to touch everything, or like I'm not allowed. Otherwise, my skin will flare. Unless I like take medication to like prevent allergies or something or acting up before that. So now that my skin is flared up this much to the point that I'm itching any part of my body I can at any given moment, I need to be really, really careful. And unfortunately, my skin is not as pristine as it was before going to San Francisco. Because during the time that we were going to San Fran for off-kai, the weather was actually really cool. I could wear jeans and I would be okay. But unfortunately, that is not the case right now. Maybe I was curious. I did know this one. Yeah. Yeah. Future boyfriend must be doesn't touch her while shopping. Yes. If I want something, he's gonna have to get it for me. It was really chill. It was windy. Oh my god, it was windy. But it was really, really nice. And that is like the kind of season that I love because it's like not too hot, not too cold. And yet I can still wear like a nice dress. But like, I can't ask for that weather every single day of my life, unfortunately. There's no place on earth that operates that way, I don't think. So, you know, you know. What I find hilarious is that there are still memes of Canada and the snow going to like the height of the door, and I've never seen that in my life. I wish I did. I think it'd be really funny if I did. But like we've had blizzards, we've had like high snow, but it's never been as high as a door. And I know that like there was one year in 2015 where everything was frozen. Like there was just a lot of rain and everything was frozen. People were figure skating like on the roads and stuff because of how thick the ice was. But like I wouldn't that was like the one time I agree with the seasons. If only I could south for the summer, north for the winter. If only. To me as well. Hey! Yeah, San Fran has better weather right now than where I am, which is unfortunate. I'm further north, and yet that is how the weather is over here, and I can't do anything about it. It's so fucking hot. You know, I'm gonna check my weather app. Give me 1 second. It's 31 degrees, very very sunny. There's a heat warning, plus 5 degrees above average daily high. So that means it feels like it is 36 degrees outside. That's great. That's great. Love that. Love that. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I need to leave. Heat warning from August 1st to 5th. Oh my god. Max? Jesus. So why is it so hot over here? I'm in Canada, the land of the cold. Why? God, I hate it. Why? 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 I am nowhere near any coastlines, no. I'm not even near a lake or a pond. I'm near no body of water at the moment. Further north where? I don't think I have any relatives that live further north. I do have friends in Vancouver. I have friends who live over there, and I have a friend who lives... Oh my god, did you know like the 0.5 time zones exist? Like an hour and a half ahead, for example? I have a friend who lives in one of those time zones. It's a very, very strange time zone. Yeah, I have a friend who lives there. The 0.5. It's such a silly time zone. I don't know if people actually operate on those time zones. How does that work? You just count an hour and a half ahead. Yeah. There is one thing I realized I never really did, even while my British accent was very heavy back in the day, is I never used words like bollocks or like bloody too often because that was too slang for my people. I had to, not use that kind of language. I was not allowed to use that kind of language because it was inappropriate for a 6-year-old. So I would just say, oh no. Oh dear, oh no. That's unfortunate. I would say things like that. Not like the bloody stuff because that's too graphic. I didn't know how to swear until I was 10. Like, up until I was 10 years old, I never really heard, like, swear words. I was not allowed. Ever. Even, like, movies or TV shows, I just never heard any. Unless you count, like Disney shows? Where they didn't really say anything like that. Roast. No, I didn't swear until I was out of the country. I only started swearing when I properly used a Canadian accent. Like I had the mask on, I used the Canadian accent. That's when I started to swear because I didn't know how to swear in the accent that I had. It would sound too American or Canadian. So I would swear with a Canadian accent instead of a British one. It just made more sense. I don't think I've gotten better at holding back. If anything, I've gotten worse at that. There was one time. Oh my god, I'm gonna tell this story. Raina's gonna laugh at me. Okay, so one time, one year, me, Raina, and one of our friends, us three, we went to a place together. It was a theme park. And it was very, very cute. It wasn't a big one, I don't think, but there was a lot of kids around us. And I had the mouth of a sailor, and I would swear a ton. I did not stop swearing that entire day because I was so heated about something. I don't really remember what the conversation was about, but I do remember being very, very angry and very heated and pissed about something. And I was ranting to my friends about it, and I just kept swearing. But there were kids around us. So Reina next to me was just like, "There's kids over there," and I was like, "I don't care." And I'm too mad right now. And so like I just lowered my voice instead, but I wouldn't stop swearing. I was just like angry, you know? I was just so angry about something. And I was like, oopsies. And then we left. I mean, at the moment, at the time, I really did not give a fuck. Only afterwards did I like calm down, you know? I just those were times that I was like, man, maybe I just shouldn't have learned how to swear. But then again, like now that I'm older, and my parents obviously they know that me and my sister can swear around our friends, or like they've heard us swear before. My dad and my mom both will swear in front of us now, both in English and in Cantonese. So I've learned a few Cantonese swear words, but up until now, my Cantonese is still very by the book, and it's good enough to like really get by and like talk to other Cantonese speaking people, but like it's too formal, I guess, for some people because I don't really use slang. I don't use Cantonese slang, and yet Cantonese is made up of a bunch of slang. So, and oh my god, okay, it's already almost full, and I have shit I gotta do. So, I should probably end stream. So after this, what the plan is I am going to go and take a shower because I am sweating. I am sweating, and I do not like sweating. Okay, okay, I'll drink. 1 second. Mm. Oh, that's good. I'm sweating so bad, and it's hot. It's my skin is red, and I think it needs to be cooled down. So I need to go take a shower. So that's number one, shower. Number two is I'm going to walk my dogs. I should walk my dogs before that, but it's too hot right now. It's so hot. And it's so sunny. So I don't know if my dogs even would want to walk or if like cuz the sidewalk can get very hot for my dogs and it would hurt their feet. I don't want that to happen. So I'm considering maybe not today. Um so I'll see. I'll go check outside and see if it's too hot. Um I'll like touch the floor outside and see if it's too hot. It is, right? Like I would like I hate leaving them inside, but it's also just so hot. And so I'll think about it. I'll go check. So there's that I have to do. I'll go check on the dogs. I'll go see if I can walk them. If not, then I'll just go shower. If I can, then I'll walk them and then shower. But then after the shower, I have to make dinner. I have to at least help with dinner, I should say. I couldn't make it all by myself. I'm gonna help with dinner, and then after that, I need to do some work on my iPad. Specifically, I need to start organizing all of the commissions that I'm getting. Um, right now, I have 8 different emotes that I need to make. Whew. Yeah, I have to make 8 emotes. I start doing them next week, but I want to organize all of them by this week, and so I can start next week, like doing them. I'll probably start like late next week instead of like early because I have some like IRL stuff I need to do at the beginning of next week. Depending on appointment times, I might have to cancel stream on Tuesday. Um, yeah, it depends. I'll try and see if I can still do my Tuesday stream, but I might not be able to. I might be like out of it. Um, since it's like a full day thing. My family has lately, like, they've been looking at different family doctors who are a bit closer. Cause last time I went to a family doctor, but I had to drive like a really far away. So we're looking for a new one, and I think that's the day that we do the checkups and stuff. So Tuesday might be a bit iffy, and I might feel really weird. So I might not stream on Tuesday. Um, and Wednesday is my usual day off, so you can probably expect no streams Tuesday, Wednesday. Uh, we'll see. I don't know yet. Still kind of iffy on that. But I should stream next Monday, the coming Monday. I'll be around. I don't know what we'll do, to be honest, but we'll do something. And then expect no stream Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll stream Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And to make up for no stream on Tuesday, if I don't do it, I might do one on Sunday. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Or I'll just double stream. That works too. I might have what's it called? I might have a member stream next week because I haven't done one this. Did I do one this week? No. I don't think I did a membership stream this week, did I? No. I haven't done one this week. Yeah, okay, I might do one next week instead. We did do members like only stuff yesterday, but I mean, yeah, it wasn't a stream. I want to do a stream. Do expect some more art streams in the upcoming weeks because I want to like really, I guess, lock in on the NSFW art. So you can expect me to like, you know, do a lot of that. Now, help me dinner, work on commission on possible schedule next week, and machine next week. Yes, yes, exactly. Thank you, Sassy. Can I screenshot that real quick? I'm just gonna. Just a reminder for my. 1 second. There. No, I needed that. I needed that. Because I'll say things and not remember that. Okay, anyway, so that'll be tonight. I don't know if I'll be in Discord tonight. Just because I do want to get a head start on all of the commission stuff. So I might not be around. If I am, then cool. But if not, then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow night is the art stream, and I'm gonna look up a few references beforehand. And we might look at some too. Together. I might just sketch some things out. But tomorrow night will be the art stream. I might be around in the afternoon. I don't know. Weekend is the tournament. It's the Super Streamer Lobby, and I've been tasked with handing out invites to other VTubers to the streamer Discord. And thank God, Y trusts me. Y is the host and the organizer of all of the Super Streamer Lobby stuff. And I've been talking to him, and he was like, I trust you to hand out these invites. I was like, okay, I can do that. So I've just been asking friends to see if they're free for that. And another cool thing, I actually don't think I mentioned, which is actually very interesting. I don't know how this will work, but Starforge Systems, the PC making company that works with people like Asmongold and Emidu, they reached out to me and was like, "Do you want to become an affiliate?" And I was like, "Oh." So I might have to talk with them either today or tomorrow about that, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be like a creator with them right off the bat, obviously. But they asked if I'd like to be an affiliate, and I think that's a good start. So I'll just talk to them about that first, and then yeah, yeah. Free PC? No, I don't think so. That'd be like a partnership. This is just affiliate codes, just to see. But I'll talk to them about everything, and I'll let you guys know. Yeah. Would be a great opportunity to get new computer parts. That's true. That's true. I don't know. I will talk to them about it. Look at their program and what they offer and stuff, and ask any questions that I need. So that'll be one of my things to do. For the next week. That's why I'm opening my commissions like at the end of next week, because of all this, I have the art thing I need to work on. I have new model debut I need to work on, and I'm actually expecting my new model debut to be mid-August. At this current rate, mid-August. I did think about coming out with a cover for it, but with all the other stuff that I've spent on this new model, I'm already like, I don't really know if I have the funds. The Donathon funds are one thing, but you guys already are supposed to pick a cover song for me to do, and I'll probably start asking for like official recommendations through the community post on YouTube. And the most liked song will probably be the one that I do in the end. Uh, yeah, yeah. I'll see, and after the new outfit debut is when I'll start working on original song things, because that is one of the dono goals. And it would probably take like a good long time before I even come out with one, because if it's gonna be the first one I do, I want it to be a real damn good one. So give me some time on those. I'll work on it. But yeah, that's probably it. I don't really think I have anything else coming up that I need to tell you guys about. Yeah, yeah. Good productive stream today, you guys. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us. But okay, I'm going to go now. I know you're not in a hurry, but I want to get things done. This is more so a thing for me than it is for you, so yeah. Okay. Is there anyone that I can stream? Can I raid into anybody right now? Give me a second. I think I have someone that I can take you guys to. You did? I'm glad. I'm glad. There are days where I'm just like, we should do more like Toki streams, but at the same time I'm like, there's only so much I can talk about, you know? I end up running out of things to talk about because I don't leave the house. If I left the house, then maybe I would have things to, do, but or like talk about. I like yapping though. Yapping is fun. Okay, I'm gonna go right into Rem's stream. She's doing a donathon. Let me do that real quick. Uh, okay. Right. I'm gonna raid now. Can you do the Mia raid thing? I forgot how to do it myself. Is it like that? You see British more often, it's nice. I'm too self-conscious to do it because I know my accent isn't the strongest British accent, and people are expecting like the stupid stereotypical British accent that people don't even do. I don't have that kind of accent. It's just not realistic. So, you know, and I don't even have the same accent that a lot of like my British VTuber friends have. It's not the same. So people think of my accent as like not a really true British accent because it fluctuates so much. But then again, I'm also like a mixture of a bunch of different accents at the same time. So it it's difficult for me to really stick to one for an entire stream. That's why the streamer mode exists. It's a very neutral accent. It's strong enough to notice. I don't know if that makes me feel good or bad. It's a little bit of both. I get really self-conscious about it. And honestly, if I look back at this stream and I realize like, oh god, I hate the way I sound, I might actually put this as a members only stream. I might change it to members only because I'm that self-conscious about it. Okay, like I get so when people talk about accents, I know mine isn't the one they think of when they think of members only. When they think of British accents, I know mine isn't the most stereotypical thing, and that's why I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want this up on my channel permanently. So I might make it a members only content. Yeah, I'll think about it. Maybe after watching the VOD, or maybe I just shouldn't watch the VOD at all, and I'll be okay. But I'll think about it. Yeah. Good talk, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go raid Ram now. Give me 2 seconds to fix this. Alright, okay, Mia raid time. Mia raid time. I will see you guys tomorrow for that art stream, okay? Okay, I go now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Bye-bye, mommy and I there. Bye. Bye. 疲れた。